Already this election cycle as both candidates work to improve affordability and increase supply. My next guest is working toward the same goal but taking a different tack, focusing on getting buyers lower rates using assumed mortgages. That's when you take over the seller's mortgage balance and along with it, their lower rate. More than 6,000 assumptions were completed last year, a nearly 140% increase from 2022. But there are a few caveats and a few potential complications. Joining me to discuss is Ronak Singh. He's the founder and CEO of Rome. It's great to have you back. Welcome.
Thanks so much for having me, Kelly.
Caveats, complications, just quickly, what would be the downside of doing this?
So there's limited to no downside we see of assumable mortgages. You know, the benefits are for home buyers, they can purchase a home from the seller and use that to wind back the clock on rates by purchasing a home with a 3% mortgage. That would cut their monthly mortgage payment in half. And for homeowners, it allows them to include their mortgage in their home sale to maximize their probability of being able to sell the home because they've expanded the universe of buyers who are able to afford to purchase the home.
This was a long-standing, I think we talked about this in the past, this had been going on. It was a small part, a niche part of the industry, but you would have thought it would really take off with rates where they are now. Has it?
Yeah, and so, you know, for some context, what we see in the housing market today is that when you look at the average American's income and you compare that to the rising cost of home prices, insurance, taxes, interest rates, all that good stuff, it looks as unaffordable as it was in 1982, which is coincidentally the last time that assumable mortgages were the most popular way to purchase.
Okay. One of the problems could potentially be if you have to pay the difference between the home's current value and the mortgage value. If it's a lower amount and the home's a higher amount, would you have to maybe take a second mortgage? It gets a little complicated.
Yeah, so there are second mortgages that we do offer for customers. Rome doesn't make any fee from helping a customer connect with a second mortgage. We just know that those tools are hard to find and hard to understand how they're used. So buyers can actually use Rome with a down payment as little as 10%, and their blended rate with that first mortgage and the second mortgage is often 4.5% or 4%, which is a 200 to 250 basis points discount to today's prevailing rates.
Overall, you said something interesting, which was that so rates have come down. They're not, a year ago is when they were at a peak.
Yeah.
So compare mortgage rates overall, I'm talking now for the whole market, with now from a year ago. Are lower rates, you think, unlocking more activity, more demand in the housing market?
No, unfortunately not, Kelly. I think it's not been as people would have anticipated. You know, if we take the average first-time home buyer today, you know, they're going to be trying to purchase a home, say 400, 500K. Trying to purchase a 400K home today, it's going to be north of $3,000 a month on a monthly payment basis. But the typical first-time home buyer makes $90,000 a year. They're at max qualified for a $2,400 monthly payment. So we're $600, $700 a month apart on the monthly. That's a world apart,
right?
It's huge.
And so, it drives a friend of mine, Jenny, is also a realtor. There's a showing time index, and the higher it is, that means the more people were coming to kind of visit homes. It's down 24% from a year ago. Even mortgage rates a year ago were like 8%. And it's down. It's down. I wonder why that is.
Well, I think there's two factors here. There's a functional factor and an emotional factor. The functional factor is that the monthly payments are just simply too high for most home buyers to be able to afford a purchase. And the emotional factor is if I think back to 2021 and my mother, brother, uncle all got a 3% mortgage, I might think, why am I so lucky so as to pay double the payment that they have?
Right. No, I think people are extremely frustrated by it and just kind of on the sidelines until it shakes out. A couple of idiosyncratic solutions have come outside with, we've heard some campaign trail rhetoric about, you know, this and that incentive, try to increase supply. John Hope Bryant has suggested a 40-year mortgage to potentially keep up with inflation and kind of bring down those monthly costs. And unless home prices fall, I think we're going to have to start talking about some kind of solutions because no one's going to be around to pay these high prices.
Yeah, exactly. So I think, you know, the 40-year mortgage is one idea. Another idea you may have heard floated is the $25,000 of down payment assistance. But, you know, I take all of these ideas to mean that housing affordability is weighing on the American voter's mind. It's the most center stage that housing affordability has been in any presidential election I've seen.
Yeah, but also if you stimulate demand by making it more affordable, the prices are just going to go higher, aren't they?
Yeah, so what we need to do is actually expand the amount of inventory that's available to purchase and then reduce the monthly payment that it requires to be able to purchase them. Today, what I see is actually the opposite, which is a homeowner thinks about selling their home, say at 400K, but you know that home may sit on the market for 60 to 90 days because 60 million Americans are priced out from being able to purchase. Since so many people are priced out from being able to purchase, when that homeowner does get an offer, it's often 30, 40K below the list price that that's set. And so then they think, well, I might not even sell.
Right, exactly.
And other prospective sellers who see that activity think, well,
They don't want to sell.
I don't want to sell. I don't want to have 90 days of showings and have people try to filter my house.
Is the market weakening in Florida? I see prices falling. I mean, I see activity in some regions that does look a little bit more like it could rebalance.
Yeah, you see increasing months of supply or just longer days to be able to sell, but you're seeing more price cut activity in Florida. I think what this will lead to is that sellers and listing agents need to look to understand how they can best monetize their home and how they can best differentiate it. And, what I tell folks about is, look, about 1 in 5 of you has a fully assumable mortgage. And why would somebody buy your home?
Lenders sometimes push back. If you're a buyer and you want to do the assumable mortgage, then there's sometimes a lag and,
Yeah, so there's a lag, but that's why we actually announced a 45-day closing guarantee. So if we do not close your assumption in 45 days, we will pay the seller's mortgage until we do. So that eliminates any concern the seller might have about having to make a double mortgage payment when they move.
I love seeing the innovation around this unique environment that you're bringing. Ronak, thanks for your time and for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Ronak Singh is the CEO, I should say, at Rome.